Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Canadian Weather live stream. Jumping on today to cover a couple of areas, possibly today, Southern Ontario and Southern Quebec, but Quebec is a bit conditional and may not actually happen. So I do know that you guys got to hang out with Connor yesterday while I was away celebrating my brother's 50th birthday party, but I'm back in the saddle again. And we'll take a look at this. I don't know how exciting the stream is today or how long we're going to be on here. Just the event is kind of borderline or marginal. A few severe thunderstorm warnings did go up in Southern Ontario, so I'm going to jump right into the outlooks from Environment Canada and then have a quick look at what's going on, and then we'll jump into the chat and ask or answer any questions that anybody's asking and see what we can do. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to bring this up. So this is our outlook today from Environment Canada. You can see that it's gray. That's the bottom end of the scale, essentially minor, and you can see there's many areas of it through Quebec into New Brunswick and obviously into Southern Ontario. So I'm going to zoom right in. We're going to start down here, and I'm going to highlight something. Sorry, there's a gray line that kind of transects this image from top right to bottom left. Where these warnings are. And so on the bottom side or the south side of it, Environment Canada is saying the potential today from the Storm Prediction Center was scattered thunderstorms, 80-kilometer-hour wind gusts, 1 to 2 centimeter hail, and 20 to 40 millimeters of rain. And that is valid till tonight at 1 a.m. So that's the higher end of what's possible today. Obviously not very severe in overall potential. However, we'll monitor it, and if anything changes, when a storm goes more severe, we will be on top of it for you folks. And then north of that line, they're just saying a minor severe thunderstorm threat available, which travels basically across Lake Ontario, comes back out here. So Belleville, Napanee are to the right of this gray line that is transecting here. So that's the areas that, so Eastern Ontario could see that severe component that those parameters we were just talking about. So portions of severe Ontario, and then further back to the west of this line is less likely, again, scattered thunderstorms. On the Quebec side here, just going to jump in here, they do have on the Quebec side 70 to 90 kilometer-hour winds, 1 to 2 centimeter hail, and 30 to 50 millimeters of rain. So again, just on the borderline of that severe component for the day, and that gray line kind of does the same thing in Quebec, transects up there and then cuts across and then through New Brunswick. So you can kind of see where north of the line that's going to be less potential for storms, and then obviously south of that line with a little bit better temperatures is what's pushing that. So let me switch right over to radar, kill off our outlooks here, and zoom right in. So this is what generated these storms coming in from Michigan. So we've had storms marching most of the day today, but you can see this line that just fired along the 401 just near Chatham and Kent, or Chatham-Kent, I should say, and you can see how that initiated. Definitely had the look of more severe. Now it's kind of getting a little more spread out, far more rain in it, and obviously some lightning associated with this as it's going through. Again, nothing to be worried about. I'm gonna, reiterate that. The severe component for today is on the very low end of things, so we're on here more to let people know that than anything else. So again, it's the potential for today is very, very low end. So they are marching in from Michigan, and I have been watching this from the U.S. radar at times, and I'll back it up here. Let's take a look here. So as these storms walked across, there were a couple that had some hail in them. So for example, right here, small amount of hail just before it comes into Canada. So still on the Michigan side, but you can see those pink pixels that were in there for a few frames. So right over 75 here, definitely the strongest look to it on in Rockwood was when it's coming over. So that's why we're watching this, to see in case some of these storms do come across and then re-intensify and give us a bit of hail. So this is definitely one of the areas we're watching. You can see that bright red. So right now associated with this storm, particularly in the very southwest corner of Ontario, we're talking a lot of rain at this point, and a lot of lightning and some wind. So far, I'm going to switch over to velocities, which gives us our scans here of wind speeds. Nothing too drastic in terms of the wind speeds. And this is from the US radar. So again, we can switch back and forth between Exeter, which is just to the north. It's much further away. I'm just going to, wow, it's much further than I thought here. Or is Exeter down again today? Let me just take a look here why it's not coming up. There it is. Okay, we do have it. So it's far away. So the radar is definitely very far away. My software was just not letting me pick it up or choose it. But nothing in terms of winds that would jump out at me. There is some minor rotation on the leading edge of these storms. You can see these greens and reds mixing in here. That is perfectly normal. That is not something that concerns me at this point. However, we will monitor it. And if it does get closer together and brighter, that's where we'll have potential for things to happen, but that is not realistically on the table today in terms of any kind of serious rotation. So again, one storm here just down through Essex and down to the west of Leamington, marching northeast essentially in this general direction. And then obviously this is the line that generated more of those severe watches or severe warnings, I should say. We didn't even have a watch out for today. It was just minor at best. So this is where we're getting it. So we have a ton of rain packed in essentially from just west of Port Stanley over Port Stanley and St. Thomas, and then moving northeast from there currently through the Elmer, Tilsonburg, Norwich, and there are some storms ahead of it, but these again don't really have, you'll notice that the color is significantly less on there in terms of reds and more of the orange and yellow and green and less lightning. So these are definitely not as strong storms. They're just rain essentially in Hamilton area and moving its way into Oakville, Cambridge, and Milton. Again, nothing of any significance. Dunnville has a bit of red here, but again, that is just heavy rain. There's not even any lightning strikes on that. So more of an informative stream today, just to let you folks know that, we do have storms, but there's no reason to get amped up about them or anything like that. It's just regular thunder showers on a Sunday afternoon, and that's what's progressing through here. I'll walk this back through the Toronto area because it's a fairly large system. So I'll bring up King City radar. And if you're new to the channel or don't understand what you're looking at radar, yellow is probably kind of mid-range, moderate rain. Orange, red, pinks, and purples are on the high end, and then on the lower end is obviously the yellow, green, and blue. So you can quickly see where the intense rain is isolated right now through north of Toronto, even through most of Toronto. It's just moderate to light rain. So again, no lightning even associated on that. I'll take a look through the Ottawa area as well, just to give people an update. A lot of our precipitation is tucked in south of the border into New York. So throughout Ottawa, Eastern Ontario, Western Quebec, it is just minor rain, and that's it. There's not even any lightning or thunder. We did have some overnight, but right now that is not the case. Then I'm going to look into Quebec as well, and you can see how in that bottom right corner we have a ton of rain, and just on the edge of the Canada-US border, we have a little more a pocket of intense precipitation, but again, this is small, nothing to jump up and down about. So that's kind of a rundown of what we are looking at right now. We were borderline whether we were going to jump on the stream today or not. So we'll stay with this. The main reason we jumped on essentially was for these severe thunderstorm warnings that came out in the southwest corner of Ontario. And there are some storms that do pack a bit of a punch, more so than further east and north from there. So just looking here, the U.S. radar is much closer, and I'm going to show you folks something here. I can select radars. So this storm that's this storm that's in the southwest corner of Ontario, we use the radar that's just northwest of Detroit. If I look back here to the little pill that says KASET, which is Exeter radar, that is much further away from the storm, so it's going to be reading higher up into the storm. So that's why I try and use the closest radar, even if it is a U.S. radar, to get me the information. So quite a bit of precipitation and lightning into this, so there's quite the lightning show right now, just on that southwest corner, but so far nothing that would be too concerning. Let's just take a look here. I'm just watching this area. There is some rotation in here close to that Colchester area. So it is broad. And let me just drag this down so it's not blocking our view. There, just updated again. So let me delete that, move the map a little bit here. So you will get scans where radar does intensify in a certain area, but we've got some kind of minor rotation here. But again, nothing to be concerned about at this point. And as storms do rotate normally, that is a normal condition of storms, especially the stronger ones. It's a question of how much. So I just want to reiterate that, because I know a lot of times people, when they see rotation, they immediately jump to the worst conclusion, and that's not the case. So there is one pixel here just to the west of Harrow, or southwest, I should say. So heavy precipitation tucked into this corner here. There might be tiny hail, and I mean smaller than pea size would be my guess. If you are seeing anything, you can send it to us, and we love getting your information from the ground, because that tells us what's happening underneath that radar scan, and we can't always see what's going on underneath that radar scan. So you can submit them to us at canadianweatherlive@gmail.com, or we also have a weather reports page. Let me pull it up here. On Facebook, we have Canadian Weather Live Reports. That's another page that we run. Very basic to get into. Simple questions. If you don't answer them, you're not getting in. It just keeps bots and trolls and all that kind of stuff out of there. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things that allows us to get the information, but also it's a good weather community that people can post in regardless of whether we're on live stream or not, and share information. So it's a great little community, and I think we have about 3,000 members in there right now. So just wanted to point that out if you are looking to share, and you can email us that information as well, which is at the very top of the screen. So good afternoon to everybody. I'm just looking at the chat here, and I just want to, give me a sec here. Yeah, I just got to clear up a report here. Bear with me for 1 second. We're going to switch over profiles, and then I'll continue to monitor this storm and the rest of them as they move through. So give me 1 second here. Okay, we've got that taken care of, so perfect. Okay, let's jump back into the chat. Sorry about that. Question from Andrew about Hanover, Ontario, whether anything's going on. So in my summary, again, if you are north of the line, the severe potential is definitely far less significant. So for Hanover, Ontario, because you are north of the outlook here, it is just regular showers. At this point, there's nothing of any severe component that even has potential up there at this point right now based on the current radar. Everything in southwest Ontario is basically tucked in essentially south of this line. That's essentially the best way I can show you folks that. So storms on the south side of that line have a little more potential. And again, everything is minor today. Weather does some crazy things, so we will keep on top of it. But the potential based on parameters and conditions and all that kind of stuff are just not there today. What I'll do is I'm also going to bring up our temperatures so we can see what's going on there. And you'll see that storms do need quite a bit of temperature to get going, and right now north of that line, and this is why there's not much potential to the north, 14 degrees Celsius in Port Huron. Moving up from there, let me just close this off. We've got 17 degrees Celsius, but south of the line you can see right down here 20. So that's just enough sometimes to get things interesting, difference between the two areas, and that's why we've highlighted that line. That's why Environment Canada has highlighted, because the conditions just aren't there at this point. So again, more of an informative stream rather than anything too intense going on. So so I'm glad I can answer those questions, and if anybody's got them, we will definitely jump in here. There are some stronger winds on the leading edge of this storm, right in this area, just kind of over the, or close to the water, I should say, but some stronger winds in this area. These are mostly straight line winds. There is some rotation, as I've been mentioning, but nothing to be concerned about. But we are picking up, 70-kilometer-hour winds, that kind of stuff, maybe some 80s in there, but that's the peak of the winds right now, and that's right in that threshold of what Environment Canada was calling for. So small pockets of, stronger winds, but again, it is a very small pocket on this particular storm area. So, okay, what's going on here? Canadian Chick, good to see you this afternoon. Gayla, hello. Is the weather system going to swish down through the northeast in the U.S.? Thanks all, and be safe. Yes, this part of it will. There's more potential in the U.S. than there is in Canada. You can see the temperatures south of Lake Erie are 26, 28. Far more available energy there. Into New York, you still getting low 20s. But then when we get towards Vermont and the Canada border, you're seeing a drastic temperature change. So storms need warm temperatures. They need moisture as well. So you can kind of follow where all this blue stuff is, in terms of our temperatures, where you're not really going to see much other than just regular rain and that kind of stuff. So, so that's where we're at this point. I'm just going to jump back in here. Ghislain saying soft rain here since early morning, and yeah, that's eastern Ontario, next to east of Ottawa. I'm not expecting anything much for the region. Again, if we look at the radar in Ottawa area, this is just scattered showers at this point, nothing more. It's a question of when these storms from the southwest make their way further northeast, whether they're going to do anything, and that's what we're kind of monitoring. So we'll watch if Environment Canada moves these severe warnings further northeast. I suspect they won't. And again, I'm not expecting a ton from today, so keep that in mind. I'm going to keep reiterating that because I do know there's a lot of storm anxiety. Today, nothing is really of any high potential at all. So, Old McDonald, good to see you here. Always tuning in from upstate New York. Always good to see you in the chat. Mark saying sad the setup didn't materialize for us, and Mark chases out of the Quebec area near Montreal, but anywhere around Quebec essentially. So yeah, it definitely some of the models were hinting that there was potential in Quebec, but sadly it's not. It's very, very unlikely that anything happens. So Mark saying he was ready for a stream for us, and I even had you set up to stream for us. So but that's the thing, that's the way weather goes. And again, not expecting a ton today, so not sure how long we'll be on, but we'll keep updating you guys as we go along here. Mike, hey, good to see you. What else? Is Kingsville, Ontario safe? Yes. So I can tell you right now, everywhere is safe right now. There's nothing of any danger, whether it's Ontario, whether it's Quebec. This is a very borderline severe event. And again, right now it's just tucked into this pocket here. So if I look up specifically Kingsville, sorry, give me a sec here. And so you're tucked into the corner there. So there is a bit of a stronger storm, but again, there is no major danger in regards to that. There is a couple of indicators right now on this storm to your west of tiny hail. So when I'm talking tiny hail, I'm talking pea size or smaller. It could get a little bit bigger than that, but once again, we're not expecting much out of these storms. So this is indicating some rotation here around the Kingsville area. It is picking up, so I'm going to continue monitoring this. A little surprised to see this much rotation right now out of these storms with the temperatures that we have, but this is southwest of Kingsville. So again, I'll tell you what kind of wind speeds we're seeing in there. We're seeing 30 to 40 kilometers an hour, 70 to 80 on the other side. So again, I'll explain for folks that are new here. Green pixels are speed and velocity heading towards the radar, and then red is moving the opposite direction, is away from the radar. So that can show you what's happening in the atmosphere. I am going to back this out and look at this. We're going to watch this area for a bit. It may be ingesting some lake breeze. That sometimes the Great Lakes do affect storms where they kind of pick up intensity because they are close to the water. So I'm going to watch this, and we are watching it from the US radar at this point because that radar updates every 3 minutes versus Canadian radar that updates every 8 minutes. So you can have an entire event happen and miss it because the radar scans are 8 minutes long. So so I think we just got an update here. So I'm going to take a look at our velocity scan on this one. Let's just take a look here and see if it's picking up. So you can see how things are kind of looping around here on this storm. So again, there is rotation on this. Rotation is somewhat normal, but if this was to intensify, our couplet area would be right in here, but you can kind of see how the winds are kind of circling into this area. So that's what we're monitoring right now. This is the strongest storm out of all of them. And again, it's just my suspicion is that it's because of the locality right next to Lake Erie, which does give it a little bit more environment to feed on. So we will monitor that. But again, no danger right now for anybody. Just need to be aware that this storm is coming through. It is currently to the west and southwest of Kingsville, I apologize, and heading towards Leamington. Lots of precipitation and lightning with this. So that's one to keep an eye on. So what else have we got? Gemini saying, hi, everyone. Pouring here at Yonge and Eglinton in Toronto, and definitely less potential in that area. Toronto just looks like regular showers with maybe a little bit of thunder, but the more severe component is further south across Lake Ontario at this point. So thank you for the update. We appreciate getting that. And then our Toronto, hey Tom, how's it going? Good to see you in the chat as always as well. And please, guys, don't spam the chat with multiple requests. That's one way to get you banned from the account. We try and go through things as quickly as possible. There are plenty of people watching, so we try and go through things as methodically and as quickly as possible. If there's an area that needs to be highlighted, let's say we had, last Tuesday, we had tornado warnings in Manitoba. At that point, I'm dealing with just the tornado warnings. I can't deal with anything else because those are life-threatening situations. So that's how we kind of function on the channel. So just again, don't spam the chat. If you don't get an answer right away, I will get to it as soon as I can. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. So again, rotation is sustained on this storm, but not super strong. It is got some intensity to it, but again, nothing that I'm too concerned about at this point. That scan definitely has some intensity. Okay, so we need to pay attention to this now. So the colors did get brighter, and this is why I'm watching this from US radar. So this is the bright greens and the bright pinks. This storm is evolving as we speak, so that's why we're here. We have some 85-kilometer wind gusts here, and the greens are picking up. We're getting over 50 kilometers opposite from it. So there is a couplet here. It is not, again, heading, it's right over Kingsville right now, heading towards Leamington. I suspect because it's so close to the water, that's why we're seeing this intensification on the storm. So let me just highlight this. This is a decently tight couplet, and just got to turn off a tool here. So let me highlight this. This is moving in this general direction. So if you are anywhere in here, if this intensification picks up, you need to be in shelter. If this was to tighten up, because you would have a strongly rotating thunderstorm at this point with possibly a wall cloud, that kind of thing. We don't have, unfortunately, eyes on the ground in that area. If you are in that area and you can send photos, that would be great. I'm looking for traffic cameras. There's none right there right now that I can access, but if you are Kingsville area and you've got anything you can share or information in the chat, please do so. Again, this is tightening up somewhere, so in that area, so it's tightening up, and that's got my attention as well. So Tracy saying no humidity at all in here in Renfrew. Temp drop from 28 to 18 once the cold front pushed through yesterday evening. Very comfortable at 18, and yeah, Eastern Ontario, I'm sitting at 18 in Kempville, so not a warm day today, that's for sure. Stormy Boy saying, does anyone know if Ottawa Rockland area is going to get anything today, tonight? You are just going to get regular storms at this point. I don't even know if they're going to be thunderstorms. There is the potential, but we have to watch as this all marches essentially northeast. Right now I'm concentrating on the southwest corner of Southern Ontario because there is some rotation on this storm, so it needs attention at this point. We have our last radar scan was about almost 3 minutes ago, and there's the next one. So still maintaining that rotation in that area, and we're going to pay attention to this because it's right in this area here. I'm going to cross-reference it with the storm just to see. So it is in that stronger cell that we see here on reflectivity versus velocity. And you can see there's a bit of a hook shape to this. So that's a storm to pay attention to. Right now, it is just around the Kingsville area, moving towards Leamington right now. So I guarantee you Environment Canada forecasters are watching this. It's over the water right now, the area, the couplet of rotation, which is good. Obviously, if you're on a boat, I would not recommend in it being in that area. So give me a sec here. Just getting some notes here. One of my moderators. Okay, so we're watching this area here again. There is some rotation involved, and they just tornado warned this. So this storm has now been tornado warned. This is a little unexpected. So this is to the southwest of Leamington, over the water right now. Looks like where the couplet is. So definitely something that we need to pay attention to. And I'm just checking my audio settings. I want to make sure I've got them going. Let me make sure that I've got this all turned on. Okay. So we do have this storm being tornado warned at this point. And they've, wow. They've put a massive tornado warning out. So that's going to get a lot of phones buzzing right now, folks. Our area of concern is right near Kingsville, back to Leamington. This has developed over the last 15 to 20 minutes. And again, we don't have eyes on the ground, but you are seeing some stronger velocities showing. So wind speeds and wind direction opposing each other. It is in this area out of an abundance of caution. If you are anywhere to the northeast of this or east of it, I would definitely be taking shelter to be sure. This is kind of the general direction where this may move. Again, near Kingsville, it's to the southeast of Kingsville over the water, heading into Leamington. So that's why we're getting all these warnings right now. And I'm just saying they're updating these. So if you are up by Lakeshore, Essex, Tecumseh, Windsor, there's a warning up that way, but that is not where the area of concern is. The good news is the rotation on this last scan has broadened out, meaning it's widened. And when it does that, the intensity is usually dropping down. So this is definitely one of those things where we do have a good sign on this last scan. That doesn't mean that it's not going to try and re-intensify. However, we do have rotation just over the water. So Point Pelee National Park, if you are there, this is going to head over that area and again towards Leamington and northeast from there. So this is why we're sticking to this right now. This is the area with the most intense storm. And again, in this environment, it is rotating. And again, I suspect that it has to do with its interaction with Lake Erie, just a lot of moisture and energy available there for it. So we are continuing to watch this from the U.S. radar as it's the closest one. I believe we have one right across the lake as well. Let me just take a look here. So we do have rotation showing it's farther. This is Cleveland radar. It is farther away, so it's reading differently, but it's confirming that we do have a rotating storm happening right now. And again, out on the water, so hopefully nobody's out on a boat in that. I would not want to get caught in it. We are about 1 minute away from having our next scan from that U.S. radar because it updates every 3 minutes or so. So that's the good news there. Larry's saying thunder and lightning, Brantford County now, no whammies. So thank you very much for that update. And obviously we are staying on top of things today, right now in this moment on this storm. I can then, once this rotation is gone, then we'll take a look and kind of go further out. But obviously a tornado warning is something that we have to take seriously. So it's definitely one of those situations that we will concentrate on just because it could be a quick spin up, and that's why we're letting people know what's going on. I have a question. This is less rotation now, so I'm going to show you folks just, I'm going to back up the radar here. You can see that our most intense rotation was just kind of let's take a look at what time this was 1:22 p.m. So 13 minutes ago, we started to see a stronger couplet forming on this storm to the west of Kingsville. Then the next scan, a little bit noisy, but still there. And then this was the scan that got everybody's attention just to the basically over Kingsville. And as it's been marching east, you can see those pinks and greens together. And now they're kind of washing out. You can see that the pinks and green, the bright ones are no longer there. So I think more than likely the rotation is subsiding and will continue to subside, which is great news because obviously nobody wants to get a tornado warning, but that's where we're at right now in the southwest corner again by Leamington, but it is over. Essentially just over the water. It's near shore, but again, nothing at this point that is super tight like it was on previous scans. So I'm starting, as a person who looks at radar all the time, I'm starting to feel much better about this rotation at this point, and that the threat has subsided. So that's the main thing. And again, we can see that these tornado warnings go all the way up to Port Stanley, and that's the issue there. So they're updating these tornado warnings, so I'm going to click on them just to see what they're saying right now. 1:35 p.m. right now, that's 2 minutes ago, just saying they're tracking a thunderstorm that is possibly producing a tornado with associated other hazards, and this one right over the water, they have dropped, it looks like it says expires, but yet they're putting up comments saying 1:36 marine tornado warning for lower Great Lakes. So this is for out on the water area, obviously, all the way along, but it does include some shoreline here. So if anybody's getting these warnings, the area of rotation is here, but again, it is not super tight. I know we've got a lot of new people that have jumped in to view what's going on because of all the tornado warnings that jumped on to their phones and their devices and that kind of stuff. The bigger threat was right here by Kingsville. You can see that bright green and bright pink next to each other. That was the strongest rotation signature throughout the last 20 minutes or so, and now it's breaking up. So again, we are using US radar that updates much faster. We should have a new scan here very shortly, any second. And I will update you guys if anything jumps out at me. There are strong winds. This is all broken up now at this point, so there's nothing saying that this can't re-intensify, in the future. So we are going to monitor this part of the storm, but right now nothing is really tight in terms of rotation. So the threat immediately in the Kingsville, Leamington area and Point Pelee for the most part is over. We will continue to monitor it in case it does re-intensify. So again, people just jumping on, letting you guys know there's a large populous area here. This went through Windsor. They put out tornado warnings all along, all the way up to Port Stanley. There's nothing up that way that is rotating. So they're just updating the tornado warning again, folks. So you can see how many warnings have gone out, and it says expires. So it looks like they've dropped that tornado warning. However, they have some updated information saying that it is moving east, and that Leamington and Point Pelee National Park of Canada are in line with that rotation. This was at 1:35 p.m., so 4 minutes ago, and just saying possibly producing a tornado. So again, we did have tight rotation right here by Kingsville. So a few scans ago, this storm definitely had a bit of a hook echo kind of indication on it, and then the rotation picked up. Kingsville was the brightest, then there was another bright one, and now it's breaking up. You can see how that looks totally different than it did before. Again, I'm saying the threat has subsided at this point. It's just something we need to monitor for, folks, so that if it does spin up again, that we're able to let you guys know that that's going on, and that's why we're here. So you can see the storms here. Everything to the north is just showers. Anything yellow, green, and blue, regular showers. There's not even any lightning. Most of the lightning is tucked in on the very edge of Lake Erie on the north side, and then moving eastward from there. So you can very quickly see the line back into the US. It's got a little bit more intensity because they're dealing with warmer temps. You'll see across Lake Erie, they're 27, 26 degrees Celsius. So these storms to the west by Bowling Green have more potential on the US side. The Canadian side, that's what we cover right now. Just heavy precipitation at this point, some wind associated with it, tons of lightning. So obviously an intense moment for those that are anxious with storms, but the tornado aspect has weakened, and we've kind of gone through the event. Hopefully, I haven't heard of anything reporting or anything as far as that's going on, but it seems to be subsided. So we're going to wait here, 1:40. So we need about another 2 minutes before this next scan comes out from the US radar. But again, not seeing anything too crazy to jump on. So when I'm looking here, yeah, so I'm just looking at my moderator chat, folks that are new here. We monitor, I have 4 screens that I have between the one in front of me, 2 to my sides, and the one kind of off to my left as well. And I try and keep up with chats and with everything as much as possible. So obviously we do our best here to give you guys information, and we were live when this was going on. And as it was ramping up, that's where we started to indicate to folks that we need to pay attention. We are a channel that doesn't, hype things up. We don't, use any kind of fear mongering or anything like that. But if something does get to the point where people need to pay attention, that there's a possibility possibly dangerous situation, you'll see my tone will change. I'm very lighthearted with the rest of it, but when it does come to tornadoes, that's where, you know, the serious part comes out and we deal with it. And again, the rotation has subsided on this storm, so nothing to worry about at this point. So I'm just going to look at some of the comments here while I've got a minute between. I know we've got some questions here. Okay, so we've had questions about the tornado and stuff. So yes, definitely ongoing things here, but nothing you know, too dangerous at this point. The rotation has subsided drastically. So the Dent family saying it's really bad here in Brantford, a little bit more northeast. So let me look from Exeter radar, and sorry guys, just let me switch over to our other scan, which is our precipitation or reflectivity scan. And let's just take a look here. Brantford, where am I? You are right there. Yeah, so right now Brantford, a lot of lightning, a lot of rain, but further to the south it's a little more intense. If you look to the north of you, so those reds and oranges, those are showing far more intensity than the yellows and the greens. So you see no lightning to the north of Brantford. All of this is tucked in, kind of going through Hamilton, but you can see this area of intense oranges and reds. That's kind of where everything's tucked in. And obviously the far southwest corner, that's where where we were talking about to the west of Leamington, that had that rotation on it directly over Kingsville for a short period of time. But again, I don't think anything touched down based on that. But we are not on the ground, so it's hard for us to say, obviously, because we are seeing higher up into the storm than people on the ground. So that obviously beams read higher up, and that's we're a little bit blind below it. So it's always good when we get people reporting stuff in here. What else? Okay, storming hard in Leamington. Yes, definitely. You've got a very strong storm in terms of rain, precipitation, and lightning. There was some circulation, but that has gone down quite a bit. So what else have we got here? Is London, Ontario safe? Yes, everybody right now is safe. Again, the tornado warning, for those jumping in right now, the tornado warning was to do with a storm by Kingsville and Leamington, and it was partially over water. That rotation has gone away, and I'll keep highlighting it for the next little bit. You can see it here just in the center of your screen, and I'll come full screen on this. You can see that green and red close to each other, and they got really bright kind of right on this next scan near Kingsville. That's what prompted us to start talking about this more seriously. And then you can see it's kind of moved out over the water and it's broken up a little bit. So right now you're just dealing with a lot of rain and thunder and lightning and some wind associated with it. So do you believe it'll go up to the Hawkesbury area of Ontario later today? Could it have the potential to bring tornadoes all the way here or not really? So that question, I'm going to say tornadoes up in, further on, very unlikely. This is a surprise, to be totally honest with you. And again, I think the reason this happened was its proximity to Lake Erie, because moisture is storm juice or storm fuel. So I think that's why it happened coming across. I just had enough intensity to interact with maybe a lake breeze. That's the other thing that could have happened. Lakes can affect things in weird ways in terms of storms. So again, that's probably what triggered this. Back to the Eastern Ontario, once you get over land, less likely for any kind of rotation. And again, I'm not expecting much for Eastern Ontario, and even for most of this area. We were more coming on here for as an informative type of stream, because we had those severe thunderstorm warnings in the southwest corner of Ontario. But obviously it was good that we were here, and we were able to walk folks through to let them know what's going on. So I'm watching another area right now, and I'll highlight it for everybody, just seeing a bit of a rotation area in here. I'm going to see where that is in regards to the storm, because sometimes you get rotation outside of the storm, which obviously is not indicative of anything too dangerous. So it's still within the storm, so that's an area I'm paying attention to, and we will continue to walk through this as it moves northeast, but it looks like it's moving more east, so it's going over open water. Some of this is trailing northeast as well, but you can see that the severity, even if I switch over to Exeter radar, a lot of it is over the water, and then once you get basically east of St. Thomas, that's where that leading edge is red and orange. Lots of rain, lots of lightning. I don't think we have any rotation up here, but let's double check to be sure. Near the water, there's a bit of very minor, and I mean very minor, but I'm expecting that near the water's edge. But once you get on land, you can see that there's no real bright greens and reds together. There are some straight line winds associated with this as it heads towards, Tillsonburg, Brantford, Hamilton, St. Catharines area, and then eventually into Toronto. We do have a Buffalo radar here as well, so I'm just going to look at it to see what it's showing. And again, I'm very comfortable. There's a bit of extremely minor rotation tucked into a pocket here, but nothing to be concerned about at this point. And that's why we do this radar analysis as we are doing things, so you can see what's going on and we can highlight anything that needs to be kind of paid attention to. So right now we are, this weather is basically just skirting the US-Canada border, essentially just into Ontario barely. And again, this could be something that carries through into further east, but I suspect this is all going to stay to the south of the northern lakeshore of Lake Ontario, and then head into New York and cut across there. So for the Ottawa area, again, I'll bring it up, anybody jumping in here, very isolated and scattered showers, and they're barely showers at that, to be honest with you. In the Montreal area, again, same idea. You can see where all those greens and yellows are. That's the low end of the precipitation scale. Everything is sticking to the US side, essentially. So our afternoon may be pretty good in terms of no severe potential in Canada. For storm chasers and storm enthusiasts, not what they want to hear. For those that have anxiety with storms, obviously great news. So always two sides to that coin, but you can see where the oranges are. They are not in Canada. And what I mean by oranges is those orange colors. So you can see right now through Hamilton, heavy precipitation south of Toronto, lightning density as soon as it's getting over the lake here. You can see there's no lightning on this south of Toronto or east of Hamilton. However, the line back to the southwest of Hamilton and Brantford area, quite a bit of lightning, quite a bit of red, orange, but those storms are kind of eating up the environment, essentially, is what's going on. And I'll switch back to our U.S. radar from Detroit. They just updated this thunderstorm warning, so saying that Environment Canada is still tracking a thunderstorm capable of producing strong wind gusts and heavy rain. So just wind and rain based on this radar scan. However, the only threat I would say is not even the rain side of things, and even the wind I would question somewhat. Those are old severe thunderstorm warnings from when all of this started earlier on. So I'll move that back to kind of where this all started, and I'll go back a few more scans because the radar does update more often in the US, so it eats up radar scans faster. So give me 1 second here, switch over to let's go to 75 scans and then bring this down, and I'll just show you guys. So they're just updating that tornado warning, so we'll go take a look at that. But you can see that storms fired, and that's what essentially triggered everything here on the Ontario side. So let's go take a look at this radar, this tornado warning, and see what's going on. So what they've done is that tornado warning has expired. So the one that is along the water all the way up to Port Stanley and then skirts the edge of the shore, this one that's flashing yellow, that has now been dropped. So it's expired. They leave it on the software for an hour. Environment Canada does. We can't remove it, unfortunately. So that is a very good sign for folks who are in this area. So they have, again, a tornado warning has expired. transpired for Lake Erie and along the shoreline there. We've been talking about the reduction of the rotation over the last 3 or 4 scans, and that's just confirming what we're seeing here. So again, I will bring this up. This is kind of where things started to get a little tight here, and I'll zoom in a little more so it's a little more obvious for folks. You can see how it kind of got around Harlow. There was a good inflow into that storm and a little bit of green. So definitely something to pay attention to if you're watching radar and you understand radar. And you can kind of see where these greens and red, pinks started to come together. Kingsville got really intense, a couple more scans, and then it washed out, and now here we are. So you can see that the greens have definitely gone away quite a bit, but there are still winds and lightning and rain associated, obviously, with these storms. This is just our velocity scan that shows the direction. So green pixels, what we were looking at, are heading towards the radar. Red is moving away from the radar. And obviously, when they get bright next to each other, that means strong rotation. And that's where it's like, okay, we need to pay attention to this. So anybody in Windsor area, all these tornado warnings that are back there's nothing coming in that area. Obviously, a very large population through Windsor, along the 401, and then down further south towards the southwest corner of Ontario. So the only area that was of a concern was between Kingsville, Leamington, and Point Pelee National Park. That would be the 3 areas that would have had, interaction in terms of this storm that was rotating as it went through. So what else is going on? So again, we're going to watch this because obviously a storm that has had potential for rotation could re-intensify depending on the conditions and the environment. So we're going to continue to watch this and pay attention. And I'll walk through the rest of the area again for those jumping on. Obviously, south of Leamington, just so over the water, Lake Erie, quite a bit of precipitation. Anything to the north has definitely died off, and it's just regular showers. There's not even any lightning. Kind of to the north of the 401 corridor, that area there. Look at our Canadian radar and just bring that up so you can see here, just as Port Burwell, basically, Tillsonburg, almost through it at this point with those reds and oranges. Our last scan was 7 minutes ago, so we're waiting for a new one from Canadian radar, and that just literally popped up. So we have some intense precipitation through Tillsonburg, moving a northeast and eastward through Waterford, Hagersville, Caledonia, off to the east of Brantford, through Hamilton right now, and then into Niagara. And I can use our Buffalo radar to look at intensity. So St. Catharines, Niagara Falls area, you guys have a intense thunderstorm there with lots of precipitation. We even have a couple of pixels of pink, which means you're getting on that edge of maybe small hail. And when I'm talking small hail, we're talking pea size or smaller even. So, and it probably is going to melt before it gets to the surface because it is dropping through the atmosphere. So, and as it does, it warms up. So it may not even make the surface, but that storm, definitely lots of precipitation, some wind associated with it. On the leading edge here, you can see these bright greens. So there's some 40, 50 kilometer wind gusts, even up to 60. But again, not super intense at this point. So we will monitor that as it moves towards Niagara Falls. It's going to end up in New York, but not an area that other than it's, obviously it's a big thunder boomer basically. So that's what we need to pay attention to over Lake Ontario. Tons of precipitation. I would not be on a boat. If you know anybody that's trying to go out fishing or anything in these conditions, I would probably not recommend it, especially along the southern edge of Lake Ontario. You can see the northern edge is just showers at this point. Again, yellows and greens mostly through that area. And I will look back at Franktown radar close to Ottawa, and you can see Eastern Ontario, just regular showers at this point, nothing exciting. The only areas that have it are on the lake or in New York State. So again, not a ton to talk about here.
There's not even any real lightning. I'm looking to see if I even have a lightning bolt here, but I don't even have a single one here. So nothing intense there. And then on the Quebec side, near Montreal, look from Blainville, you can see very, very isolated light showers. The only area would be the southeast corner, and then near Sherbrooke a bit. But again, this is just rain. There's nothing to be concerned about here, folks. So it looks like the way this is unfolding, everything is going to be in the U.S. except for the far southwest corner of Ontario. That's basically what's happening here. So this thunderstorm warning around St. Thomas and Port Stanley is now expired, all the way back along the 401 where you see this black and yellow flashing. That is now expired because the storms are over here and have moved off to the east and northeast, and they will move over the Niagara Peninsula in over towards New York. And once they're out of there, then again, these are just thunder boomers. Not even any real hail in it. The only one that I question is over here by Niagara Falls, but we'll wait for another scan here to come in and see if that does pick up or if it drops down. So this scan was at 155, so we should have another scan here in about 2 minutes. Actually maybe in 1 minute, but there is a little more purple, or pink I should say, in that front edge of the storm. Again, maybe hail, but this is heading right for Niagara Falls. You can see that right in your map here. So again, just a lot of precipitation. So this is going to be a strong downpour, lightning associated with it. I'm more afraid of lightning than anything when I storm chase because it's so extremely unpredictable. So that's what we pay attention to as storm chasers. Lightning, when it starts to pick up, you got to be careful because it can strike anywhere essentially, and that's the part that scares me as a storm chaser more than anything. So anyways, so we're gonna go back here, take a look at that. So north of this line, I'm going to draw it out here. I'm going to kind of do a big line from everything here. So bear with me. I'm going to bring up our composite. So this is what am I trying to say? An accumulation of all the radar scans, and it puts it into one so that I can kind of work with it. South of this line that I'm seeing right now, which is basically the vast majority of Ontario, Quebec. That is basically where your more intense thunderstorms are going to be. I don't even think they're going to continue to hit that severe component, but that's where it is. So south of that line, if you're there, you're going to have some rain. So you can see it cuts south of Toronto, south of Kingston, essentially mostly in the U.S. So Niagara Peninsula, and then kind of southwest of Hamilton all the way down to Leamington is the pocket or area where there is potential for severe weather. The rest of it is basically, from my judgment, is a no-go, is probably the best way to describe it here. So let's just go take a look. I think this is our Buffalo radar. So I'm just looking at that storm as it marches in. I'm sure there's some nice views on this in terms of structure. Let's take a look and see if I can find a camera on this and see if I can see anything from this storm. I'm just going to look here. No, nothing on that camera there. I'm going to zoom more in to see. There's some, I don't know if I can see the US ones. Sometimes they block them because of our IP address. So this is the bridge. Wow, there is a lot of people coming to the US on this line here. So this is right at the US border, looking back, but it obviously doesn't show that camera or that storm. And this one's hard to see. It's kind of washed out. But again, this is the border crossing as well, right at Niagara Falls, or not Niagara Falls. This is into, where is this? This Niagara Parkway. Well, I guess it would be Niagara Falls crossing over there. Yes, it is. So sorry, just kind of orientating myself. I'm going to see if this camera sees anything here, 420 and Stanley. It's just looking straight down at the intersection, so we won't see anything there. But sometimes you can get lucky where these traffic cameras will update in the right amount of time, because these only update sometimes once every half an hour. But this one here, you're just seeing precipitation. So again, nothing crazy, nothing bad. And we are just dealing with a couple of pockets of intense precipitation and a bit of wind and lightning. That is by the Niagara Falls area. And then I'm just going to look back here through as things come into that Niagara Peninsula, southwest of Hamilton, south of Brantford. 159 was our last scan, so this is the latest one. You can see the portion that is closest to Lake Erie does have a bit of heavy red in it, which obviously is just heavy precipitation. But again, nothing to be concerned about. They're not even severe warned at this point. So we may have had a very short window of severe possibility, which again was back in this southwest corner. And then the rest of it is going to be pretty mild as far as severe weather is concerned. So just taking a look here. Oh, okay. Rick showing me some stuff here. One of my moderators, I apologize. Just we have a tool maybe that will give us some more traffic information from cameras across Canada. So for those that are new here, and if you've subscribed, thank you very much for subscribing today. Make sure you do turn on those notifications so when we do go live, you get that notice. Starting in the next week, we are also going to be streaming to our Facebook page, and I'll put this up while we have a bit of time. This is where you can kind of find us right now. I do have to update that because we are now on X as well. For alerts and that kind of stuff. So we will be updating this, but we will be on X as well, live streaming within the next few weeks. So we are expanding the platform. We are based out of Eastern Ontario. Connor and myself are the ones that run the platform. Connor is a storm chaser. I am one as well, but he live streams from his vehicle, and we kind of cover weather in Canada. We do have chasers in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Quebec, and Ontario at this point, and even Alberta. I should say that as well. So we have a good portion of Canada where we do have storm chasers available for us to live stream. So we're super happy about that, and we're coming up to our 1 year anniversary of our very first live stream, June 19th. So in 5 days. We will be 1 year, since we started this. So Connor and myself have about 12 years of experience storm chasing, and just being weather nerds is the best way to describe it. I'm just going to come and take a look at this storm here, getting an interesting look to it kind of over the water. Again, this is over water, so not a threat to anything on land. I am going to switch to the US radar just to see what it's showing. So a little tiny bit of rotation, but nothing tight. It's on the leading edge of it, so I'm not concerned about it again. The tornado warnings have essentially expired. Have they kept this one going here? Yeah, this one, the one that, okay, so I'm going to highlight it this, and I'll change the colors here so it's easier to see it. So this red box that goes from Detroit and Windsor kind of heads out to Tilbury and then drops south around Point Pelee, and then, continues back along the river. There's no tornado threat in there anymore, and the one over the water as well, they've expired. So you can see that expires, and they stack them on top of each other, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes with our weather warnings right now in Canada. So guys on the desk doing the best they can always with what they've got. I talk about it on this channel. Our weather warning system in Canada definitely needs an update, and anybody who tuned in on Tuesday of last week with the Manitoba and Saskatchewan extreme risk, it was very evident that we had problems with the boy who cried wolf, because devices just kept going off, and people at some point started to ignore them. Even storm chasers started to ignore it because it got ridiculous. So I don't know what it's going to take, but there definitely needs to be a change. We should be doing somewhat similar system to what they do in the US. They've been doing it for decades, and they are the center of severe weather. If you're going to learn from somebody, learn from the best, and they definitely do it well because they deal with far more tornadoes and far more severe weather than we do up here in Canada. Like I said, that's just my my opinion on that. But again, we could do a better job of warning our general public of severe warnings. So if you look at this giant box here, this red tornado warning, this is a perfect example. I can give you guys a tool and let me move this down. So we had the warning near Leamington, but this box stretches 161 kilometers. So before a tornado can even cover that distance, there's a ton of time, first of all, even if that was the case. There's no reason to throw a box that big out. It's just the way the software and the way it's set up in Environment Canada, and it's unfortunate because you're getting a lot of people getting warnings that don't necessarily need to do it. And our tornado warning on this storm, let me back this up just to give folks an idea while we're covering this. The tornado warning back for right here. This is where it was over Kingsville. So this was at 1:22 p.m. So 40 minutes ago, that's when that took place. And let me switch up here and go from here to here. The storm itself from there in the last 40 minutes has only made it not even halfway through the box because it's obviously quite a bit of distance. So anyways, just saying that our warnings are too big. They're using county township lines and storms and weather don't care about any of that stuff. So it should be based on where the storm is and where the storm is going. And I'll stop preaching about that. So anyways, hopefully there's some changes that come down the pipe. So questions in the chat here. I'm going to jump back into them. It doesn't really look like Ottawa, Rockland, Hawkesbury will even get much in the way of lightning with the way it's situated. I feel like it's going to follow Lake Ontario. Yes, it's very unlikely that anything, when I drew that line, that anything north of there is just showers. South of there is going to be that. And again, I suspect that once this gets to the Niagara Peninsula and makes its way out of there, that's the end of it for the severe possibilities. So the higher end thunderstorms, everything else could be just regular showers. There may be some lightning that happens, but again, nothing of severe component. You can actually see very easily on this image that I'm showing on my screen where all the intense precipitation is, and I'll show you the loop here so you can understand how this is moving through. Everything has a kind of a northeast or easterly track, and it's tracking more east now than it was earlier. So this is kind of what took place right here, and there we are right now. So that's over the last 6 to 8 hours as far as this event is concerned. And to the south of Toronto is where it's just Hamilton is right on the edge of it, and Brantford is right on the edge of it, just to give you an idea. South of there, you've got lightning, heavy precipitation, and then obviously over the water or over the lake. And then this is going to skirt just south of Kingston is my guess, and then stay on the New York side, and that'll be all she wrote for the Canadian side of things, I suspect, today. On the Quebec side, again, temperatures just too cool and washed out just with showers going on right now. So the environment won't be there for any kind of severe potential. So again, we're just dealing with the north shore of Lake Erie, and it's the northeast corner of Lake Erie more than anything at this point. And then once that's gone, we'll basically be done with the storms for the day. And you can see, I've mentioned it a couple times on here, southern shore of Lake Erie, 28, 26, far more heat available and storm energy available down there for storms. So what else is going on? Yeah, okay, it's just asking about the tornado in the tornado possibility in Kingsville, but that's very old. Nothing is happening there anymore. And back to the west, so you can see all these storms as they've moved through. If you look on the left side of the screen, you're seeing those 16, 17, 18 degrees Celsius. Those are not temperatures that are going to spawn any kind of stronger storms. That'll just be regular showers and the odd, you may get a lightning bolt in there. That's literally what we're talking about at this point. So Flaming Today, Flaming Toady. Appreciate the coverage, Tom. Extremely valuable. Happy we were able to help you guys out with that. Spire, I think we were just talking about Kingston. I don't think anything severe is headed that way at all. Same thing, Yuli's World. Will Montreal get a severe, strong thunderstorm? Again, no. Everything looks to be further south at this point, so Canada is being left out of it, other than that northern shore of Lake Erie at this point over to the Niagara Peninsula. That would be basically it at this point. So what else is going on here? Gemini asking, thanks very much and happy trails. Absolutely. And thanks for people that tuned in while we had that tornado warning. What else? So yeah, Rick saying they also just updated the squall warning on Erie and Lake St. Clair for 40 knot winds. So thank you for that. I can actually turn those on, but Rick has updated us on that, so that's perfect. What else? All our tornado warnings are essentially basically canceled at this point. Hilda saying, great job. Love that you don't constantly flip the views or zoom in. Easy to follow. Thank you for the feedback. Appreciate that. I definitely know on Tuesday when we were dealing with all those tornado warnings throughout Saskatchewan and Manitoba, we were definitely flying all over the place as far as the map was concerned, but it was just because we had so many events. But when I do have an isolated tornado warning or two, I will stick with those. And obviously those are potentially life-threatening situations. We actually were warning in Saskatchewan for that Oxbow tornado as it was coming through the border at North Dakota. We were already talking about potential tornado on the ground and getting the information out to folks, and we just kind of stuck with that. So that's our trademark. We try and keep it simple for folks, and we definitely try and turn the temperature down on the hype that some platforms use for storms to get clicks and likes. We're not after that. We're more after getting the more information out to people that is accurate and informative rather than doomsday scenarios. So what else? Pickering, Lisa, you're just getting regular rain at this point. Pickering is far north of the line, so there's not going to be anything on that front other than just regular storms. Everything is tucked kind of halfway down through Lake Ontario and south of there. That's where the more intense precipitation is. So you can see that very clearly here. Those orange and some of those red areas, that's the heavier precipitation, and those little lightning bolts that we have on there. I'll take the cameras off just so it doesn't get it too busy on the screen. So this is a very clear indicator of what's heading around the GTA area. Everything is sticking. Let me just minimize the number of scans on this. I don't need that many anymore. Let's go back to 30. Perfect. Let's drop that down and go from here. So you can see this is kind of what's happened throughout the last number of hours. I mean, I've only, I think, an hour and 15 minutes I've been on stream here. But you can see how it's marching northeast, and everything is sticking to the south side of Lake Ontario, other obviously than Hamilton area. But the Niagara Peninsula is the last area that's going to have that heavy rain associated with lightning and some wind. But once this line moves past that and off into New York, I think for the most part, to be totally honest, the show is over, and it's just going to be rain. You're going to have rain throughout the day, but nothing to be concerned about. For those that don't understand what we're looking at, the oranges, reds, pinks, and purples are on the high end of the precipitation scale. Yellow, green, and blue are on the very low end of the scale. So you can see that north of the GTA, even through the GTA area, it is just showers. There's no lightning up there, and all the lightning is tucked in on that line. You can see as it's marching through, those lightning bolts showing up on our software there. And because this is traveling in this general direction, you're going to see that it's going to skirt into New York, and it may catch parts of Quebec. However, by the time it gets there and it's over land, the intensity, I suspect, is going to completely drop off. So it's not looking good for that area in terms of any kind of severe weather. If you're a storm enthusiast, great. If you're got storm anxiety, so that's what's taking place today. So again, not expecting a really long stream today. And I believe I'm just going to check. Connor is out on the road. He kind of rolled the dice and gambled, and we both were chatting about this. We just haven't seen any severe storms in Eastern Ontario, so he's getting a little twitchy in terms of getting out under a storm, so he was willing to gamble a little bit, but he may have driven a long way for some ice cream. That's basically it. And I'm just messaging him to see what he is thinking, because Connor, for those that are new, he's our forecaster. He really dives deep into the data. I'm a more of a nowcaster, meaning doing what I do right now is watching what the environment is doing in the moment at the time. And, I dive into models, get an idea of what the day is going to look like. But in terms of truly ingesting data, that's Connor, and then he's obviously the guy on the ground when we have storms. So we are mid-June here, and we haven't had any kind of real severe weather in Eastern Ontario. So for those enthusiasts, people are starting to twitch, and they're willing to risk it a little more. So I'm just going to see what he says there. Let's zoom back in here to essentially Buffalo radar. We're going to be looking at the Niagara Peninsula, and I'm going to look for Exeter radar as well, just to see where everything's tucked in. So our precip is essentially over Lake Erie all the way to Simcoe at this point. That's essentially where you see a little more red and orange, but again, marching within the next half an hour to an hour roughly, this is going to make its way over that Niagara Peninsula, and you can see that has marched off. And so we just have a cluster of heavy precipitation south of Hamilton, tucked into this area right here, and that is going to walk through, Caledonia, Cayuga, Dunnville, off to Welland, St. Catharines, Niagara Falls, Grimsby area. But again, there's nothing to be concerned about on this stuff. It is just heavy rain, thunder boomers, and a bit of wind associated, but no tight rotation, no hail. So that's what's transpiring at this point. So I'll jump quickly back into the questions there, and we'll see what Connor. Connor's just there. I'm just letting him know what's going on. Okay, so back into the chat. So what else did I miss here? Question about a tornado near London. No, there's absolutely nothing near London. The tornado warnings were quite some time ago, and the storm that was associated with that was near Leamington and is now over Lake Erie. So there's nothing. London is just regular showers at this point. So. And same thing, Windsor. No, nothing is going in that general direction. There are no tornadoes. There's no active warnings that for any storms that are rotating at this point. So. Petit Joe Louis, cheers from Montreal. Awesome to see you in here. And again, Montreal, I don't suspect you're going to see anything that maybe you get a thunderstorm, but nothing severe at this point. So I don't think weather is going to be bad in Montreal at this point. We will monitor it. So, for example, if this all subsides off and then there was something to pick up that might head into southeast Quebec, and we have a time gap between that, we will just stop the stream and then start it back up for that particular area. But again, right now the only concern that we have in terms of higher end precipitation, wind and rain, is over Lake Erie, as you can see here, and then is just across along the Niagara Peninsula, and that's it. GTA is just regular showers. I'm going to take a look from King City radar, which is just north. You can see everything is over Lake Ontario, Niagara Peninsula, and then heading off to New York. And this is marching northeast. So I think that once this gets out of the Niagara Peninsula area, the show for the day for Canada is essentially over. The only possibility would be southeast and South Quebec, but again, I don't even think it's going to happen there. That's just my personal opinion, and we'll see whether that's the case. So, anyways, we'll get back into here. Sunflower saying that's something that I really appreciate about Canadian Weather Live. I'm assuming you're commenting about the fact that we take the tone down and we don't hype stuff up. So thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, that's what we're about for sure. So David says, have a great day, everyone. Hopefully the rain stops soon. So depending where you are, there's definitely rain still on tap, but thanks for tuning in for a while. Ahmed saying, do you think London will get a tornado? No, absolutely not. The threat is done and over with at this point. And what else here? Christian saying, thanks for sharing live weather for us. It is raining in northwest Mississauga. And the good news is that's all you're going to get today in terms of any kind of rain. Mississauga on the where are we? West side of Toronto, right there. You're just getting a bunch of precipitation. So there's a ton of rain still headed your way throughout the afternoon and evening, more than likely. But the intensity is obviously on this image to the south and east at this point. So what else here? London. Yeah, London is okay. Our Toronto, Tom, heavy rainfall can be severe and dangerous. Yes, if there's, so the components in Canada, heavy rain, it has to be 50 millimeters. That's kind of the threshold when they throw that severe out. I do know there are certain areas that are prone to it in terms of flooding. Don Valley Parkway is a classic example through Toronto. But again, these showers that we're seeing through Toronto and back to the west and southwest are just moderate rain, where if this orange stuff and red stuff was tracking through the Toronto area, then we may have a problem on the Don Valley Parkway and through downtown Toronto. I know there's some areas there as well. It's a great point there, our Toronto. Heavy rainfall can be severe, but today 50 millimeters or more was not on the table, and I don't think that's going to be the case based on everything I saw. So what else? Sunflower Moonrise, kind of like a Storm Chasers version of the Pilot $100 hamburger. Yes. I just received word that there's a severe thunderstorm warning for the Chatham and Kent region. Let me just take a look here. That would have been a long time ago, and that has all moved out. I'm just going to move back to our line of storms. So these storms are moving northeast. So Chatham and Kent, you are perfectly fine. That was from probably 2 hours ago when that happened. Those storms have moved out. And again, the one storm that had some rotation around the Leamington area in Kingsville, that is over Lake Erie and moving eastward and heading to the U.S. side, essentially. So not Canada's problem anymore. And as you can see back behind this, there's not a lot of showers and there's cooler temperatures. So no storm worries back in that area if you are in the Chatham and Kent area. So what else is going on here? Rick saying we call these voice saver storms because if I talk for 10 hours, I start to lose my voice. So definitely when it's a shorter stream, my voice appreciates it. But we're here, we're here to talk everybody through it regardless of how long it takes. So our Toronto saying, Tom, please feel free to jump online on a sunny day and hype it up. And you know what? One day I might just do that. Go through and look at weather cams. We have a whole bunch of them in Eastern Ontario that we've put out. So maybe I'll just start looking at sunrises and sunsets on those. We'll see. But and I will definitely hype those up. But so I just want to point out, anybody who's been here since the beginning, you can see my demeanor now versus when we had that tornado warning. When the tornado warning is there, I'm all business. We don't kid around and just getting information out. When there's more time to look at things and it's less serious, which is the case right now, we kind of have a little bit of fun with it to try and ease people's minds. There's nothing to worry about. And this stuff over Niagara Peninsula, I'm just looking at it just to see, is starting to lose a bit of intensity. It is still a lot of rain and some lightning associated with it, but other than just by Port Dover, that's the only area that has really heavy red. That would be a downpour, but it is moving again northeast through. It will go through St. Catharines, Grimsby, Niagara Falls, all that Niagara Peninsula, and then that portion, or today's portion of severe on this area is essentially done with. And the only possibility, so I'm just going to show it to folks so that we can understand. I'll bring up King City radar here and just give you a bird's eye view so you can see this cluster right in this area here. That's the only real major cluster of weather, and most of it is over Lake Ontario, is moving in this general direction. So we are going to have to monitor that to see what it does. And once the trailing end out of St. Catharines, I will probably end the stream at that point, because I'm not going to sit here just to tell people it's raining. You can look out your window, but this may catch this severe portion, or not severe. It's not severe warning. The higher intense precipitation and storm activity that is over Lake Ontario has the potential to kind of skirt the bottom end of Quebec. So it's still got quite a bit of time before it gets there. And it could weaken as it gets over land. It could maybe intensify, but with the temperatures that are out in front of it, you're 17, 18, 19 degrees Celsius. There's a little more 21s tucked further south here, but again, there's some elevation as they go through Adirondacks. So those sometimes have some effect on it. There's still going to be tons of rain associated with it. We're just talking about the potential, whether these storms have some intensity to them when they get to the Quebec side of things. So let me kill this off and look at distance. So right now, the edge of those storms before they get to Quebec, 287 kilometers away, roughly. So quite a bit of time and distance to travel before it gets into Quebec. So a lot can change in that 287 kilometers. It can completely die off. It can intensify. And so that's why we're watching it, and that's why I'm highlighting it. But again, for that southwest corner of Ontario, the threat is essentially gone and over with. We are just talking showers, onshore. At this point, it's just isolated light showers back here to the southwest along that 401 corridor. Out over Lake Erie, I would not find myself out on Lake Erie today, just with these storms moving through. St. Thomas, Strathroy, in that area, just moderate rain to light rain. Obviously a big pocket of it. And then the last of the storms here, I'm just going to look from Buffalo radar, over the Niagara Peninsula. That's all that's left at this point. Kind of tucked in right here. This is the only parts that are essentially onshore, and then wrap around in there. So that is our pocket moving northeast, covering most of the Niagara Peninsula right now, and heavy rain, some lightning associated with it, and some wind. But again, I'm going to look at velocities here. Nothing really strong in the wind department. And that's why these are not severe warns. So the storms are not meeting the threshold of 90-kilometer-hour wind gusts, 3-centimeter hail, or 50 millimeters of rain. That's the three parameters for our severe components before Environment Canada will put out a severe warning. So again, just thunder boomers in that area, heavy rain, just a typical thunderstorm. So again, we'll see what this looks like once it crosses Lake Ontario. That'll be the big question mark through the GTA area. Again, just some moderate rain through there. Still quite a bit of rain headed that way back from the southwest, because this is all marching up towards Toronto. So you can see that. As we look here, you can see all that rain kind of pushing up in there, but it's moderate. It is not on the heavy side of things. So that's good news there. And then again, for Eastern Ontario, I'm just going to look at it, show you guys radar. You can see that all the precipitation is tucked in on the lake. Over land, essentially, it's moderate to very mild showers. And it's very clustered or isolated would be another way of putting it. So that's a look at the Ottawa area and towards Eastern Ontario into Montreal, and then I'll look at their radar in Blainville, and you can see very, very light rain, almost non-existent rain would be a good way to describe it. The only places where there's a little bit more is on the New York side. So again, I'm going to keep on this stream for now till this moves out of the Niagara Peninsula down here. Once that's out of there, I will probably pull the stream unless something happens, and then continue to monitor this as it travels along Lake Ontario. And if something does get to the border or to the edge of severe in the Quebec, southern Quebec area, we would start up another live stream and start covering that area. There's no point in sitting here waiting, and it's kind of like watching paint dry, essentially. So anyways, Nadine saying, through the night last night, I could see some lightning into Ottawa from my Kempville window. And yes, overnight, probably around 3 a.m. roughly, there was some good, there was a line that formed near Ottawa, and it did produce a bunch of lightning, which at night I love watching lightning shows, but heavy rain, but nothing crazy. Obviously, getting woken up at 3 a.m. by lightning is not everybody's fun time, so get that. But yes, definitely late last night, it got a little stormy around the Ottawa area as a line moved through. So Christian saying, just subbed you and gave you a like. Awesome. I really appreciate that. And it helps us. So everybody that can, please hit that like button. It helps get our channel out into the YouTube algorithm and helps us grow. And again, we're trying to be the go-to source for reliable weather and education as far as weather is concerned, and not hyping stuff up. That's the best way I can put it. So thank you so much for that. And it's a free button anyway. So what else have we got here? Love the updates. Really love Lanark County Scanner and all his updates. Yes, he is fantastic. Great resource, and that's why we're working with Rick. So if you don't follow Lanark County Scanner, he's based out of the Perth area and has a great Facebook page, so you can find him under that name, Lanark County Scanner, for Eastern Ontario, and he updates with anything that's happening in the region. So awesome individual as well. So what else? 14 degrees and cloudy, chance of bugs in Muskoka. Yes, I think you have 100% chance of bugs in Muskoka, unfortunately. So what else is going here? So I'm getting some reports from Ohio, but unfortunately we don't cover Ohio, near Sandusky, that there's some strong rotation down that way. I can take a look quickly to see if I can pinpoint an area that might jump out at me, but I don't see anything super strong in terms of rotation coming out of the Cleveland radar. Let me just take a look to see if there's been anything over. So near the water, Sandusky, because it is near Lake Erie, there is potential that there could be lake breeze, that kind of thing that amplifies it very quickly. But again, we're not really covering the U.S. side, unfortunately, so we do tend to stick to the Canadian weather. But I appreciate you giving the information in the chat, just saying that there's a rotation near the Sandusky area. So Leah saying heavy rain and a few flashy flashes in Vineland. So thank you for that update. And again, we're going to look at this radar from the Buffalo radar, or the storms from the Buffalo radar along that peninsula, starting to make their way out basically east of Caledonia and Hagersville, and east of Hamilton is where the weather is tucked in right now. So within the next half an hour to 45 minutes, I suspect this is going to be out of there, and it's not looking like it's intensifying as well. So what else? Rainy very hard in Thorold will definitely wash away construction dust. So that's from Retired. Thank you for that. And there's more rain headed for certain areas again, but the intense stuff is just tucked into this one little area here over the peninsula, and that's kind of the end of it. And moving northeast, a lot of it has already moved into New York over to Niagara Falls, but this is just kind of walking out, and then we'll go over Lake Ontario as well, and we'll see whether we go from there. So Rick just saying upgraded the squall warnings on Erie to 50 knots or 90 kilometers an hour, but more on the Ohio side. And yes, again, south side of these lakes on the US side are going to have more intense precip than anything, and winds. The north side is definitely going to fall short. So expired PCP asking what's with the tornado warning in London. Yeah, that was a couple of hours ago. We had some strong rotation. Just actually, it wasn't London. Let me just take a look. It was let me back up here. It was for Leamington. So did it stretch all the way? No, it didn't. It was just south of London. But this is over the water. There was some rotation by Kingsville and Leamington a couple of hours ago, and about 3 or 4 scans where it got really tight. And I'm assuming it was interaction with either a lake breeze or that environment off Lake Erie, just more moisture and storm juice available to it. So it definitely got everybody's attention. So Veronica, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for jumping in. I believe Melissa's in there as well. So thank you guys, and Rick, as always. You guys are a great team. So what else here? 11 degrees. But sorry, Steven saying 11 degrees, my butt, it's cooler than 11. Saying his butt says it's colder than 11. 11 is not fun. That's not warm at all. So what else? Just hit the like button. Excellent coverage, Diana. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. Thanks for tuning in. And you can count on us when it comes to the severe side of things. So yeah. And then Connor Mockett jumping into the chat very quickly here. So let's see here. MD for it. Okay, so Connor's gonna wait to see if anything happens near the Canada Quebec border, Canada, US and Quebec border, to see if anything happens later on this afternoon. They did just severe warn these storms, so I want to jump on that before I forget to. So they've put out a severe warning at 2:36 p.m. Environment Canada. This is for the Niagara Peninsula, just saying tracking a severe thunderstorm capable of producing strong wind gusts and heavy rain. So let's take a look at our wind velocities from the Buffalo radar. And so seeing some stronger winds on the southern edge of this. There's some 50 kilometers, 60 kilometer hour winds. but I don't see any major pocket right now of any real strong winds other than maybe over the water. There's some 60 to 70 kilometer winds, but obviously going to be quite windy in this, but not on the high end of severe, components. So, and they've just updated again. So let's see if they throw some information in there. Thunderstorm lake location. It says an area of thunderstorms is moving east across the region, 30 kilometers an hour. And they are saying that strong up to 90-kilometer wind gusts with this, and then additional rainfall 30 to 50 millimeters. Some areas have already received upwards of 50 millimeters. Locations is Haldimand County, hopefully I'm pronouncing that, Cayuga, Beamsville, Dunnville, Vineland, and St. Catharines. Those are all the areas that are in line. So yes, there is some rain, obviously heavy precipitation tucked in here with these storms as they've moved through this afternoon. They are making their way out of the area slowly. We will continue to monitor it. You can see on the U.S. side that there's definitely in upstate New York some heavy rain, in that South Lockport area, bright reds. And again, my suspicion is that this is all going to stick to the U.S. side. Twisters likely. Steve, I'm not sure on the Canadian side, there's no likely twisters anywhere. So can you please clarify where you're speaking about? If it's on the U.S. side, obviously we aren't covering that. But on the Canadian side, there's no chance of twisters. So definitely want to be cautious about spreading that kind of information. If that's not accurate, we don't tolerate information that just causes people to panic for no reason. So I don't know where you're talking about, but on the Ontario or Canadian side of things, what we're monitoring, there's no twisters likely at all. And I was even surprised that we had a tornado warning today, but again, proximity to Lake Erie is more than likely what caused that. So Stephen says, I can see my breath. I'm sending my condolences, Stephen. That is wrong for mid-June. I've seen enough cold this winter. I don't need to see more. So what else is coming on here? Okay, Rick just saying on the U.S. side, we are getting some damage reports of straight line winds near Bass Island, near Sandusky, which is where those winds were. The southern portion, again, on the U.S. side has far more potential, so you can see where the storms are. This is not hard to pick out. 28 degrees Celsius out front, 18 degrees Celsius on the backside. So, and between there are the storms. So that's a very quick, easy way. So the U.S. side, again, warm temperatures out there. Environment Canada just updating this thunderstorm warning. They have dropped this thunderstorm warning, severe. That is all the way around Windsor, back Leamington, all the way up to east of Ridgetown, and then back over to Wallaceburg. So that is all done and over with. You can see the yellow and the greens and blues are just light rain. On the edge or over Lake Erie, there's heavy precipitation as this line moves through, but that's going to make its way into the U.S. And then all we're dealing with is this heavy precipitation out left on the Niagara Peninsula and moving eastward. So again, I suspect this is going to be over in the next little bit of time. Toronto getting moderate rain at this point, and I think it will for the next couple of hours. I'll zoom into Toronto here just so folks can see the yellow, middle of the scale in terms of precipitation, and you go down to green and blue on the low end. Basically that's what's in store for Toronto, just rain. There's no lightning even there. The only place we have lightning is where this intensification is, where the oranges and reds are. Other than that, regular showers. And then Eastern Ontario, same thing. Very few pockets of rain involved here. Just a cloudy, overcast day with rain and not much else. I can take a look at the camera outside of my studio, for example. I'm located in Kemptville, for those that don't know, which is just south of Ottawa. I'll bring that up and see if I can get my camera up here. So this is what it looks like. Let me share that. So that's our weather cam right outside our studio. You can kind of see that there's not much going on here, and barely even raining. We just got a soaking. Everything is nice and green. That's basically what's taking place just outside the studios. So just showers. No excitement there whatsoever. And I'll take a look. We do have our GG's weather cam down by the St. Lawrence Seaway, which is down here by Ogdensburg. So I'll bring that up here, see if I can bring that camera into view online, and you'll see what's happening there. So again, this is GG's Tree Care weather cam. This is right at Ogdensburg, across the river from Ogdensburg on the Canadian side. You can see how heavy the rain is there. And that's all that we've got. Overcast skies, heavy rain, and I can actually pan this over, so I'll swing it over to look towards Brockville. So this is looking back at towards west towards Toronto, but you can see that heavy precipitation coming in. St. Lawrence Seaway, the edge of it is on that left side of the video there. Just heavy rain as this is coming in, and then I'll pan it back around, and you can see that's the bridge going over to Ogdensburg. I can pan it a little more so you can see the grain silos. That's the Port of Johnstown, and looking back towards up the river towards Montreal. So this would be towards Cornwall, that area. Just heavy rain in pockets, and overcast day, and that's it. So again, not much going on here in this area, but just wanted to kind of highlight that for anybody wondering. And then into Montreal area, I'm just going to look at their radar there. South of Montreal, there's a bit of rain in that area, but nothing too much. And just for reference, I'll actually bring up Franktown radar and go back here. This is where our weather cam is located, just by Johnstown. So you can see what we were looking in that, the rain we were seeing, that was yellow on the radar, or even green. So nothing too intense, but when you start to get into those orange and reds, that's where things start to pick up volume for the precipitation. So those are just some cool things that we've got installed out there. Because we are located in Eastern Ontario, we've actually started building, that's our, what we call our weather cam network. And I'll show you a little bit about that quickly. It was on the stream yesterday. I know Connor was using it, but these white dots with the names, that's where all our weather cameras are located. So we are growing this network. We would like to get this across Canada. Obviously, we have about 22 of them installed all the way up to Pembroke, essentially in Eastern Ontario. And these haven't gotten the workout they need to get, as far as I'm concerned. Just Eastern Ontario has not had any real major severe threats, so we haven't been able to put them to use, but I know we will. And we are prepared for when the weather comes in, that we'll be able to give you guys live views right under the storms as they approach as well. So it's going to be an invaluable tool. We're the only ones doing this, and again, trying to get that where we end up going across Canada with those weather cams. So let's take a look back here, Niagara Peninsula. So basically from Grimsby back to Cayuga, and then to Lake Erie and over is where the heavier precipitation is. There's Dunnville right now has a ton of heavy precipitation, and to the west of it, those darker reds. But you can see the lightning is even subsiding in this on the Canadian side. There's not a ton of lightning to speak of compared to earlier on. So another indicator of the storms weakening as they are moving through the region, but that's why we're here to update folks. So what else is here? Just outside of Dunnville and Haldimand County, got very dark, stormy, windy, but seems to be lessening a bit. So thank you, Irene, for that. I literally was just jumping onto that to highlight that area. Again, once that passes through, it's just regular rain after that, not even any really lightning associated with it. What else is here? Steven saying way wrong for June, but that's New Brunswick for you. And yeah, unfortunately, the East Coast has definitely been a little bit cooler this year. So 42 Belanger saying, seeing your breath, whether it's in the US or Canada in June, is definitely not good at all. Yeah, I totally agree with that statement. So, what else is here? Petro Jackson saying, show for Montreal, very nice channel, run up the likes. I'm in the Montreal, Quebec area, so thank you for tuning in. We do coverage in Quebec as well when there are severe storms that happen that way, and it's been rather quiet. But again, today, the only area that may have a chance is along this line here into the US. With some storms, but the potential doesn't look that high end. But again, we will monitor it. I'm only sticking around just to cover the last of this stuff here on the Ontario side between New York, or on the New York border. And then once that's gone, we will pull the stream at that point, but we'll wait till that happens. Just looking at where the rest of this line is. So again, all this moisture is over Lake Erie, this red and orange. Obviously, the Ontario shoreline is here, and a moderate to light rain is what's on tap. St. Thomas showing a few pixels of orange, but basically moderate rain, no lightning in there. So again, signs of weaker storms, just basically rainstorms at this point. And then we'll wait to see how this all updates from the Buffalo radar. It's much quicker. Getting intense on the Buffalo side. This over here on the New York side, definitely worth paying attention to if you're on the New York side. This here, I'm curious what the winds are like in this on that side. Some stronger winds associated with that in pockets there, but heavy precipitation on this leading edge, and you can just see how hard that leading edge is from transitioning to nothing, from no rain to a ton of rain. So it's not diffused at all. It's very tight gradient in there. So the only areas on the Canadian side right now, I would say, that are, on the higher end of precipitation would be south of Niagara Falls, kind of directly south between there and Stevensville. That's where there's some red in there. And then obviously around the Dunnville area, that's the other areas of heavier precipitation, but a lot of the lightning has disappeared. So I think we're out of this in the next 20 minutes to half an hour. So James asking, Erie, Pennsylvania, what do you think the tornado threat is down there? I haven't done an analysis for Erie, Pennsylvania. So I'll take a look to see what the outlooks are on the US side, and then kind of do something quick there. Let's see, categorical. Let me back out quickly here. So there's definitely some potential for severe weather in Erie. Right now, the temperature's kind of cool compared to back to the west, where it's 26 degrees Celsius. So that bodes well for you. I have not done a forecast, so I don't want to speak or misspeak. I don't think the tornado threat for that area is high, but let me pull it out here. This is a very large 2% tornado threat for a lot of New York. But again, that's just that the ingredients are there, the possibility, but whether the ingredients come together or not. This line will pack a bit of a punch as it comes your way. But I don't think there's much of a tornado threat. There could be a quick spin up if the lake interacts with things. Showing rotation on this storm right here. Just want to see what's our closest radar. Buffalo's not showing the rotation, and Cleveland is. So Cleveland is a little further away, so that's reading way high up in the storm. So I'm not too concerned about that, but hopefully that helps you out enough. Again, I don't think there's much threat today, James, in that area. So we are on the Buffalo radar, so we're good there. Damon saying clearing up a bit in northern Gatineau right now, on and off rain all morning. Yes, you'll have overcast skies on the Gatineau side, or in eastern Ontario, I should say, but there's not much for rain. That's the extent of the rain, and it's tucked along the Ottawa River. The river might be enhancing that a little bit, but there's not much to speak of as far as rain is concerned. It's all kind of over here along the edge of Lake Ontario. So a bit of rain making its way to over the 401, but again, it's moderate rain, nothing intense at all. So let's pull up Buffalo radar and see where we're at here on the peninsula. So it's kind of easy to see where we're left with our precipitation. Couple of pockets right in here of a little more intensity right along here, and then sort of in this area right down here along the border between Ontario and New York. So that's the last of heavy precipitation. The lightning has gone down dramatically on this as well. Just going to show you, if I swing this back, you can see all the lightning on the leading edge here in New York. And then back here, we've got one lightning bolt kind of south of Vineland. And then there's another one near I guess on the U.S. side into that. Yeah, that is the U.S. side. Just there. So there's basically only a couple of lightning bolts. The rest of it is all over the lake. So again, intensity dropping on this. I would not be surprised if this severe warning within the next few scans starts to get dropped potentially, but we'll see if that's the case. So we'll go from there. What else? Lana saying Windsor, Ontario. Nothing to be concerned about in Windsor, Ontario. All the storms have moved east of you. Behind you, there's much cooler temps and very little precipitation. You're on the very edge of it. For the Windsor area, you're almost out of the rain at this point, and you can see there's not much left behind it. So everything is to the east of Windsor. That's where, and it's heading, this portion is all heading for upstate New York. And I'm going to turn off the outlooks. Sorry, let me switch it back to the Canadian stuff and then kill that off just so that we don't have that on there. So again, storms have moved eastward. The only area in Ontario is that has anything left of any kind of intensity is over here by St. Catharines, Niagara Peninsula, and that's it. So you're good to go there. Damon says, thanks, love the channel, nice to find you today. Awesome, glad you did find us, and hopefully you subscribed. Anybody that's brand new here, glad to have you on board. Welcome to the Canadian Weather Live family. And again, we try to have a little more fun with it, not making things scary for people. And because we do realize that there's a lot of people that do have anxiety with storms, so we kind of give you your veggies when we need to give you your veggies, the bad news, but when it's good, we'll definitely tell you that as well. We're not here for just hyping stuff up for the sake of social media, essentially. So anyways, let's jump in here. What's this scan? This scan was at 2:54 p.m. That's a bit delayed from Buffalo. We usually get them every about 3 minutes, so we should get another one. The US radars update every 3 minutes. Canadian radar updates every 8 minutes, so we're a little bit slow compared to the US radars, and that's why I use them as much as possible. Shanley was just asking about Oshawa. Please don't spam the chat, folks. I get to the comments as quick as I can. However, there's a lot of people in here, and we cover things when we need to. The Oshawa side and anyone in the GTA area, this is all regular showers. That's all you're looking at. I'll switch quickly over to it. The yellow and down, green and blue, regular showers. There's no lightning, nothing. The intense precipitation is just tucked in here. Everything else is just fine. So you guys in the whole GTA area, everybody there's nothing coming to you guys of any concern. Eastern Ontario, same thing today, not expecting anything. And we're only looking at the south corner of Quebec as the next possible Canadian portion that could have some weather as this all marches northeast, but it's hundreds of kilometers away, and a lot can happen. It can either intensify or it can die down. And so if something changes and it gets into Quebec and there's a severe component to it, we will jump on the stream and let you guys know, just like what we did today here. If there's no severe component, we're not coming on here to tell you guys it's raining. that's there's plenty of places that you can go for that, but we are kind of severe weather specialists essentially, so we just break it down as it's happening, and this is live radar essentially. So let's go back here, look at the Buffalo side of things. Have we got a new scan? Yes, we do. So this one was around 258. So yes, you're starting to see that the greens and yellows are making their way into this storm, so definitely things are breaking up. You can see how densely packed that was, and now you're starting to see this kind of break up. So most of it has moved over to the New York side. The only thing that's left is kind of between Dunnville and Welland, and that is just heavy precipitation with this. There will be a bit of wind, but it's not going to be a ton of wind. Nothing jumps out at me on this radar scan. So when I back out here, just my eye immediately goes to the New York side here, because you see these bright greens over here. They are close to the radar, so sometimes that's not as accurate, but bright greens, 70 kilometers an hour. So it jumps out at me pretty quickly when we do have winds that are intense. On the Canadian side, that you can see there's no bright greens available there. And if you're new, green is moving to the radar and red is moving away from the radar. So we have direction, and then also the brightness of the pixels tells us how strong they are. And so again, over here, we don't have anything really intense, and we don't have reds and greens together, which is how we detect rotation as well. So again, just at this point, we are Sunday afternoon showers, some of them very heavy, but again, we're at the tail end of this right now. So what's going on? So yeah, Megan saying light rain all day here in Mirabel near the Montreal area. Thank you for that update. And yes, it's going to be rain on and off. Obviously, scattered showers throughout Eastern Ontario, Western Quebec, and then Southern Quebec. Again, temperatures are just too cool. There's nothing going on here, so it's very, very quiet. So. What time do I think it'll hit Quebec? If this makes it to Quebec, the leading edge here, I'll bring it up from Franktown. There's a storm here by Malone, New York that has a bit of orange in it. That's about the extent of it right now. That is just getting to the Quebec border right now. The pocket that is over Lake Ontario, this portion here, heading up along the St. Lawrence, it's going to stick to the south of the St. Lawrence, I suspect, is moving up that way. And let's measure the distance roughly from the edge of the storm. We're still 190 kilometers out, so quite a bit of time. And again, it could be something that intensifies, but it also could be something that dies off. So only time will tell. But I'm not expecting I'm not expecting much for the Quebec side. I'd be impressed if we went severe warned on the Quebec side at this point. So what else? User saying light rain in Montreal north, so on the north side of Montreal, and we have a radar very close to there, Blainville, and you can see that this green is just very light showers, so you have very isolated areas of rain. And again, this is to water your garden. There's nothing to worry about with this. When you look at yellow and down, that is watering your garden for you, essentially. Happy to answer the questions, folks. Glad it's helping out. And again, thank you to those that have subscribed today. We're definitely trying to grow the platform and get people informed. So the more that people that like it and subscribe obviously helps us get the information out to folks that need to get it out. So just zooming back in here to the Niagara Peninsula and looking at the stuff around Niagara Falls, you're starting to see far more yellow on this screen than earlier where we had all this bright red and orange. That has moved into New York. The only area with any kind of intense precipitation on the higher end would be southwest of Welland or northwest of Port Colborne. And then south of Dunnville, right on the edge between the lake and Dunnville, that's got, orange, so it's still heavy precipitation, but lightning is essentially non-existent at this point. And so the severe component of weather for Ontario is definitely over at this point. And I'm just going to wait for a few more scans, and we'll see what transpires as this downtrends. And at that point, we'll probably pull the stream. I'll be surprised. They still got this warning here for a bit. This is from a while ago. Stefan, thank you again. As always, really appreciate those donations. That goes a long way towards helping us. So thank you. Connor and I really appreciate it. So yeah. Can't say thanks enough. And if anybody else is interested in supporting the platform, let me pull this up here. There's several ways. If you're in Canada, obviously Interac E-Transfer to our email address is the easiest. Ko-fi is another one platform, and then the super chats or and stickers that, like you just saw with Stefan doing in the chat, that's another way of doing it as well. So thank you to anybody who does. Not necessary, but we really appreciate it, because it does help us grow the platform and get those weather cams installed. That's a huge project for us. Obviously installing 50 cameras or 100 cameras is expensive, but it's going to give us the information so that we can report to you folks pretty accurately. So what else have we got going on here? Oh God, Rick is just showing me a photo from a traffic camera, and yeah, it's just super warped is the best way that I can say it. So Petro Jackson, do we accept crypto? Not at this time. That's not something we've looked at. Definitely, that's the first time I've been asked that. So we don't have a solution for it right now. Looking at this last scan here, from Buffalo. I just want to make sure. Yeah, that is Buffalo. You can see that this is coming apart very quickly in terms of the Niagara Peninsula. Most of it has just moderate to light rain, and now most of that red has moved out. So this, over the next scan here, I bet the next one, there's basically no red left in Ontario, which again is that higher precipitation value. I'm just going to look back here. Over the lake, obviously a lot of moisture available, so quite a bit of precipitation out that way. Back to Detroit and Windsor, rain and everything is pretty much over. There's still some spotty showers, but they're very, very light at this point. Let's just take a look up here. Markham, Toronto, I'm going to go closer to your radar here. So just moderate rain back to the southwest, kind of to the edge of Burlington and Milton, but that's slowly going to march eastward. So another hour or two, depending where you are, obviously in the GTA, of some rain, but no lightning, nothing intense, just moderate rain, and kind of going from there. Eastern Ontario, very isolated spotty showers. And nothing of any intensity. And then again, Blainville radar out of Montreal, same thing. Just on the edge here, this storm just got some orange in it on the U.S. side, just with U.S. and Southern Quebec. So that's it. That's all, folks. We're getting to the end of it as well. So one bitty Canadian beaver, wow, just heard big long roar of thunder in Orono. So still a couple of lightning strikes obviously out in that area, but most of them seem to be over the lake for the most part. And I'm just going to look to see what time this is our latest scan. So folks, this is all done and over with. Again, Port Colborne still, moderate to heavier precipitation, but it is downtrending. All that red has gone away, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll bring the radar up and then back it up. You can see how much orange and red was in there. This is 2:40 p.m. So 30 minutes ago, definitely a lot more precipitation, but we have now moved out, and you can see how that is all breaking apart. So Hayden, good to see you in the chat. Hayden great storm enthusiast out of Calgary area, has a phenomenal website as well that he's built. And it's Canada Weather or Canada WX, I believe. Hayden, sorry if I'm so many things in my head. CanadaWX.com. Great little platform if you want to find out weather information in Canada. Young individual who's put that together. So definitely like pointing people to getting the right information. Our platform is about getting as many people the right information as possible. That's the end goal for us. So he's got a really cool tool he launched last month, essentially. And so definitely give him a check on CanadaWX.com. So Christopher saying, oh, wow, this is so awesome. Finally, a Canadian Weather Channel for Canadians. And 100% that's what it's about. And we're trying to promote our platform. So the more you can help share it, spread it, get the subscriptions up. We are on Facebook. We are now on X as well. So we are going to... we're going to expand as much as and grow it as much as we can. So again, getting information out is the key. And just noticing something here out over the water. Our software does detect rotation. This is over the water on the US side, essentially. But you can quickly see there's some strong winds here on the New York side, north of North Greece. Not super tight, so I bet you, yes, the confidence on this is only kind of middle of the scale, but that's over open water on Lake Ontario. Just something, if anybody's wondering what that circle is about, we have that on US radars, we don't have it on Canadian ones. So Petro Jackson's just saying, have a good Sunday, world. Absolutely, everybody. So unless there's anything very specific right now, I think I'm going to pull the stream at this point. We will continue to monitor this as this moves northeast. If something happens as this is moving northeast, either through eastern Ontario or into Quebec, and there's a severe potential, we will start up another stream. That's not a problem. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you always to my moderators. Without you guys, we'd be struggling a lot more. So we always appreciate your help. So definitely appreciate everybody jumping in the chat and commenting. And today, thankfully, the only thing we had was a quick little tornado warning in the southwest corner near Leamington, and nothing came of it. And then just a bunch of rain along that north shore of Lake Erie through the Ontario side of things. So again, thanks everybody, appreciate it. We will catch you guys on the next Canadian Weather live stream. So have a good Sunday, hope you have a good evening, and we'll see when we're on next.